Hey, it's Austin Cooper with Velo Baseball. Today we're going to be talking about the mini med ball and how our pitching instructors use it to help train our athletes. So the first thing that we use the mini med ball for is rebound work. I like to program rebound work for athletes who struggle to get into a good layback. What the rebound work does is it helps stretch, create a little bit more mobility, and do a little bit of tissue work on the throwing arm. The three movements that I like to use are the one with our shoulder pinned against the wall, and we're keeping our elbow tied to our body. The second one that I like to do is from the actual throwing slot, keeping the elbow anchored in place and feeling the hand work behind the elbow. And then the last one is with both arms extended, and with this one we're trying to feel more of that like stretch and that mobility happen in between our shoulder blades and our back. So the second thing that I like to use the mini med ball for is soccer throw-ins. So I use soccer throw-ins to help athletes who struggle to feel an energy transfer from the lower half up the chain and into the arm to get extended through the strike zone. There's three different versions of the soccer throw-in that we use, and we kind of do them in order to create a progression. The first one is fully kneeling. When we're fully kneeling, we're kind of cutting the lower half out of it, and we're kind of just feeling more of the upper body, create that energy transfer. The second one is in your split stance, and we're stationary. From here, we're starting to add the legs in a little bit more and trying to feel that block or that turn of the pelvis into a good position to help get that energy transfer forward and those arms extended through the target. And the last one is rolling into it or walking into it. And this is where we're going to add full momentum to where our timing of these movements are most important. And we like to use this in a progression with the final stage being that roll into it with all the momentum behind it. So the last thing that we do to help use the mini med ball to help prepare our pitchers before we throw a baseball is to do chop throws. And the chop throws are going to mimic more of what our actual movements look like when we are performing our pitching delivery. So I'm going to show you just a few of the movements that I really like to use with these athletes. There's a number of movements that we can do with chop throws, but these are just some of my favorites. My most favorite is the stretch drill. So feeling that stretch between the upper half being counter-rotated and those hips being open. So I like to start, like we have a net here. I like to start with that med ball back on something behind, putting our upper body into that counter rotation. In this drill, we're just focusing on feeling that stretch. The chop is going to mimic our throw, so those elbows are going to lead, and then we're going to feel those hands chop through. So another good example of a drill that we can use to do chop throws with is the hater drill. Again, if you need to, the net's here to give yourself an example of how you're going to be able to feel that counter rotation. We have the hater drill video, but basically what you're doing here is feeling those 4 or 5 steps to feel ourselves get into that coiled or loaded position with that back hit, and then go into that chop. So those are just a few examples of the drills that you can do with the chop throw. Basically, you can do the chop throw in any movement that you're trying to create explosiveness and strength in when it comes to throwing a baseball off the mound. So those are the 3 things that we use that mini med ball for. So rebounder work, soccer throwing work, and then we also use it for chop throws to mimic more of our actual pitching deliveries. The sweet spot, I think, for a mini med ball is 2 pounds. So that's what I've got here today is a 2 pound. If you're a younger athlete that wants to kind of work your way into it or can't really handle the 2 pounds yet, a really good thing to use is a basketball because the basketball is going to be a pound lighter. It's going to serve the same purpose for you. So if you guys liked what you saw in the video today, please give us a like, give us a comment on how it helped you. Make sure you have your notifications on so you can see the videos as they come out here in the near future. And thank you guys for watching once again.